right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mystics Outlook. Joined by Raymond Lyons and Wilson Turvey Jr. Mystics have been out west this week. Earlier this evening, like literally, 15, 20 minutes ago. The Seattle Storm were able to beat the Washington Mystics. They pulled away from them late for an 85-71 victory. They used a 12-2 run down the stretch to create that distance. Ray, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, just a disjointed performance by the Mystics on both ends. You know, like they couldn't defend the pick and roll to save their life, and Seattle was just killing them with it. And then with a lot of off-ball movement as well, players cutting from the weak side. Mystics just didn't have their head on the swivel, and Seattle got a lot of layups because of it. Mystics, man, they had a bad closeout to the first half. I think that was that was detrimental because they actually took the lead. I think it was 37-36, and then Seattle went on a 10-0 run. And I think that was the opportunity the Mystics had to kind of take control of the game and go into the half with some momentum, but they just gave it right back. And then that was kind of the ebb and flow for the second half. Seattle pushed the lead up. Mystics will chop it down. Then Seattle will go push it right back up again. So yeah, man, it was it just wasn't their night, man. Seattle was kind of clicking on all cylinders offensively. At least the starting unit was. Their 3-point shooting just put incredible pressure on the Mystics. That's how they pretty much broke the game back open every time Washington would get close. Seattle, they only had 9 points off the bench, but it didn't matter because Washington couldn't stop their starters. So, yeah. So, they've been hanging their hat on defense, but it wasn't their best performance tonight. Ariel Atkins had a rough night, 5 for 18, 1 for 10 from three. Pretty much everybody had a rough night offensively, except Elena and Alicia Clark. And Maisha, she had 12 off the bench, but yeah, they couldn't stop anybody and they couldn't score consistently enough. And that's just the long and short of it. They had 12 turnovers, but Seattle only had 7. Seattle, they had some fast break opportunities as well. So basically, man, Mystics just didn't check enough boxes tonight, and the score reflected that. They, like I said, man, they tried to make it a game at points, but Seattle would just respond, respond vigorously, and it just put the Mystics right back in the situation they climbed their way out of. So yeah, man, it's just a good win for Seattle, and hopefully the Mystics can find some consistency.
Yeah, I thought this was one of the games where, one of the issues we've been talking about all year at times is they've had issues in their half-court offense. Mm-hmm. And that failure to execute really caught them tonight. Because, like you said, they were going back and forth with them at the time they even took the lead. And you just had, really, if you take like 2 or 3 pockets of this game, Seattle executed. And when Washington failed to execute, Seattle took advantage of it. Then there were also stretches where Washington was able to take advantages of good stretches of defense on their end and capitalize on Seattle. But the couple of times that Seattle did, you said a 10-0 run and a 12-2 run. Those are huge in the game that it was nip-tuck for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't – I think Seattle knocked their lead to like 10 or 12 a couple of times, but it's never like they went up as many 17 or 18 or something like that, where it got away. It got up to 10, then it would swing back down. But that finishing kick was huge. I also thought Jewel Lloyd was huge.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like most of her – what she have? 20? She had 22 tonight. I think she had 22. And for me, with her buckets, I felt like they were all loud because of the times that they happened.
Mm-hmm.
The times where Washington had a chance, they got a couple stops, and then she'd hit a big shot, stabilize Seattle, and then Seattle would be okay for a little bit till the next Washington run. Then she hit a 3. Like there was 1 3 thing near the end of the third quarter. She came off a screen on the left wing, and before Alicia Clark could even get close enough to contest, she was fading to the left and knocked down a three, and it killed Washington's momentum to that point. Like just big shots, and you were talking about not being able to guard the pick and roll tonight. It hurt. It was a lot of miscommunications tonight. I haven't seen that too much to this degree, but there are a lot of times you had two players going to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that against a team like Seattle. You open up a gap in your defense more often than not. The ball's going to find the person it needs to find. It was a rough shooting night, and Seattle also played good defense. And when you're not knocking down the open looks that you do get, it makes it even tougher. Seattle, on the other hand, they shot 45 from the floor, but more importantly, it's 46 from deep. I felt like was really the difference. They shot 46 from deep to Washington's 30. And it was only 3 more threes, but they took 4. They hit 3 more threes and took 4 less attempts. You even had more shots than they did. Literally just not executing. And Seattle did a decent job of keeping Washington out of transition for the most part. We know how devastating they are in transition. And still to this point this year, we just haven't seen them find that clinical level of execution in the half court. And tonight it really bit them. Against a team like Seattle wants to play faster, but they can only, they can only play so fast, right? So this is going to end up being in the half court unless you turn Seattle over a bunch. And, it's kind of hard to do for the most part. But, big game from Jewel Lloyd, and then Ezzie Magbagor. Thought she had a big game as well. And I felt like Washington missed they probably missed Liz inside a little bit tonight. Elizabeth inside a little bit tonight for sure. Area 11 team, what's going on? Say, how's Rui looking so far? Ray, I'll let you answer that.
I mean, she's performing pretty much how I expect her to. I think the speed of the game is an adjustment, but she still is able to find her spots in direct traffic. She's struggling a little bit shooting wise, and defensively just because of her size. She's scrappy and she'll put her nose in there, but it's, that's probably the toughest position to defend in the WNBA. And the guys are just too big, strong, and athletic. So she struggles a little bit there, but I mean, it's she does a job for the most part in a reserve role. Like the game, like you're not worried about her having a basketball in her hands, and I think that's the that's the purpose of a reserve point guard. Of course, I'm sure Coach Tebow wants her shooting to pick up a little bit, but yeah, man, she's solid. The where she lacks, those things will come just with time. It's just a huge adjustment for her right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just trying to find out navigating the space that you're able to get your shot off. You see sometimes kind of her trying to gauge the space that she has, and sometimes she should pull, sometimes she doesn't, and I think she feels more comfortable sometimes taking a mid-range jumper. It's not like she can't shoot the 3, but again, like Ray said, it's probably the hardest position to play in this league, man. They come in, I mean, they're 6'2" guards, 6 foot, 5'8", 5'9", long limbs. She does a great job as a pick and roll ball handler. And sometimes some of the stuff she does would look better, just like the days that they're shooting better. Yeah. She does have a very fun connection with Elizabeth Williams. When those two are together, they find she finds Elizabeth pretty well. Elizabeth does a great job rolling and being a good target for it. But yeah, like Ray said, I think she's as expected, right? She's actually, of all the things to worry about, she's not on. I don't think she's not on my list. I don't know about yours, right? Like, I have no issue with her. Like, obviously she'll have more assists. Like, she finds people got to make shots. Some games they make shots and some games they don't. Like Ray said, on ball as a defender, she's hell to deal with. She is annoying. She's a gnat, which is what you're supposed to be as a smaller guard, whether you're on the women's side, the women's game, or the men's game. But there's gonna be those times when Chelsea Gray is tall as hell. All right, those times. But yeah, Do you think Washington's going to figure out the get to a comfortable place executing their half court offense before the All Star break? You think it might be something that they're going to be dealing with all year?
Um, nah, I think they'll figure it out. The All Star break. I mean, I don't know because that's what a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got a group of veteran players, and then especially with them starting to get a little more continuity with with people being there all the time.
Mhm.
I mean, Elena's still going to be on her schedule, but she like the other Sunday she played 31 minutes. Today she played 29.
Yeah.
She rested the game in between, but that's to be expected. But just just the games that she does play with her being back to pretty much full time. And then Alicia's turned the corner with her health wise as well. So yeah, I think they'll figure it out, man. It's because there's definitely flashes, and then for the most part, the games when they have a full roster, like when they played Connecticut on Sunday, everybody was available and they look sharp, so yeah, it's just the key is going to be to figure it out when everyone isn't there, whether they can do that or not. That's a different story because depending on who's not there, it changes a lot,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know, man. And then for the playoffs, I'm not sure what the plan is, but I guess they'll cross that bridge when they get to it. But I mean, I'm not super worried, but they do definitely need to figure it out when they don't have the full complement of their roster, because they knew from training camp that was going to be the case a lot this year. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they will take some time over All Star break to the coaching staff to kind of look into that and see where some tweaks can be made. But yeah, I'm not concerned. And then they have offensively gifted players. Like Ariel's not going to go 5 for 18 too many more times, if ever again. So that's yeah, I don't think it's a huge concern, but up to this point, it's kind of reared its head a little more often than I would like to see.
Well, I think that was a great answer. Hey, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but it's something we see like every other game. It's just you're looking for them to find some level of consistency in that regard. Because, like you said, they have offensively gifted players. They have veterans. Like it should run smoother. Like shouldn't be as many hiccups as we've seen
Hmm.
thus far. And like you said, it's a long season. However, as we approach the halfway point, the loss tonight, lost back-to-back games. They're now 6-4 at home, 5-5 on the road. They're in fifth at this point. However, this road trip is not complete, man. Saturday, the Aces. They're one of the few teams to beat the Aces this year. I think they're the first team to beat the Aces this year. Um, Keeping that in mind, Aces probably definitely want some get back. And yeah, that's that's what they got, man. Tall task. Talented folks over there, and they're still atop the league. They're
Yeah,
comfortably atop the league. Yep. Chicago's found their stride. They're on their way right back. They went from struggling a little bit, got some folks back, and yeah, they've been pretty violent as of late. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Mystics Outlook. I appreciate you guys always. I appreciate your Area 11T for comments, and don't forget whatever show we have going on, whatever the broadcast may be, just hit the comment section, chime in, and we will happily respond. Y'all have a great day, rather not evening, but have a great day since it's the morning, and maybe next week I'll be back on a regular schedule. I'm hoping. We'll see.